Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching. And today's topic is one that is pretty exciting. And that is, how do we use AI to reinforce training? Now, anybody who's been on my webinars with like Training Magazine, ATD, um, know that I'm infamous for saying this. Training is not the problem. For years, and I still hear it today. And you would think it would leave us by now. And at the end of the year, what a lot of managers, executives say, well, we need more training. Training isn't always the solution. And I think that puts a lot on training departments. So put your comments in if you agree with that. But the fact of the matter is if we're going to teach, let's say, a class in negotiation skills to a group of salespeople, and let's say it's a 1 to 2 day workshop or an online course, whatever delivery method that you choose, the fact of the matter is that is going to require practice. That's going to require reinforcement. I'll give you another one. Somebody was just telling me with a customer service training that they have to handle angry customers. They're launching a new product. They're trying to prepare for in case there's some hiccups with the delivery of their products. And I said, so what's the manager's role in this? And they said, well, no, we're starting with training. I said, well, what are you doing after training? And I got nothing. And I said, they're going to get on the phone. That training is going to leave them like that. It's not an innate habit. It hasn't been reinforced. So what I'm going to walk you through today is a methodology that we use that I think you would find really interesting. And I'm going to just bring up something as I'm recording this and going live with you. And that is the following. When we think about reinforcing, I think we've said it for a long time, right? We have said for a long, long time that, when we are, for lack of better description, in the mode of, coaching people and training people, they've always been compartmentalized. Now, I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that that's wrong. What I'm saying is that really conjures up a huge challenge for people. And so what I want to do is walk you through how we go about doing this and how we go about combining those worlds. So I'm going to bring up my screen, and this is going to be a little bit jumbled, so just forgive me. But I want to show you a PowerPoint, and I want to show you, this might do something a little bit weird, so bear with me. Yeah, there it goes. I knew it was going to do something weird. Give me 2 seconds here. And this is, for me, probably one of the best things that we could do. And we talk about why coaching, right? Why coach? 85% of people lack self-awareness, according to Tasha Yurkin in her study. Get her book, Insights. It's a New York Times bestseller. When we lead with people's strengths, people engage 8 times more. And then when we look at the Gallup as well, 21% of people are actively engaged, whereas 79% are neutral or actively disengaged. That puts a lot on leaders. So how do we make it easy? So when someone goes to training, the training department's not doing the end of the year review. So they're not going to have access to these people as much. So then what we also need is a coaching framework. Now, this happens to be ours. There's other ones out there, but just bear with me. So we teach 3 types of coaching: direct coaching, a 4-step model; career coaching, which is the M, the motivator; and then supplemental coaching. How do we coach when we don't have time? I'm not going to dive into this because it'll come off like a sales pitch. But this is our 3-step methodology, or our 3 types of coaching, I should say: direct coaching for one-on-one and groups, career coaching, and supplemental coaching. Our direct coaching one-on-one, these are 8 to 9 minute conversations. Now, why do I show you our framework? Because everything we deliver, everything we reinforce for our training as well as our clients is 100% in alignment with how leaders have learned to coach. So when we think about coaching out in the industry, we have direct coaching, which is something we subscribe to. And then there's spot or observational coaching. And that's when we observe something and we want to give coaching or feedback. It typically gravitates to feedback. Typically, we're triggered by what we see as wrong or what we want to correct. And then we have situational coaching. Maybe 2 people come to you as a leader and say, we're not getting along. That's a situation. But when we spot something, and then we spot something different, and then we spot something different the next day, there's no continuity between the conversations. That's why we subscribe to continuous coaching and we have our framework. Why do I keep harping on that? Because when training and learning is done, we have to deliver a plan that's 100% aligned so leaders can coach. Now they can have aligned coaching. So let's go back to our negotiation skills. Let's say there's 6 or 7 methods that are taught of how to coach or how to train or learn how to negotiate. And there's 6 methods taught. The leaders have to be in alignment with that training. What they tend to do is say, well, I sent them to training, so now they know how to negotiate or whatever the topic might be. I think we all know it doesn't work that way. So what if there was a way to deliver a coaching plan where they knew the exact questions, the exact activities, the learning project, how to bring it into the conversation around their career, the motivator? And what if I don't have time? How can I keep coaching them when my time is sparse? And that's where the supplemental coaching comes in. So what we do, everybody, is that we actually, let me just get rid of the part here and I'll stop the, let me see here. Here we go. Sorry about that. So what we're essentially doing, and I don't know why it's doing this, so I apologize to you. So what this essentially allows us to do is to work with our clients. So I'm going to show you something here in a second that's pretty cool. And if you want a sample plan, I'll send it to you. But I'm going to show you my screen again. And I don't know why it's giving all those different windows. That's really weird. But what we essentially do is we will take an outline of a course. We'll take a job description. We will take a leader doing an assessment. And what we'll have them do is fill out a form that's delivered with an AI agent. They fill out that form. They can even upload things, which you'll see here in a second. We're going to go through a sample one. And essentially what they can do is actually start the reinforcement building of the plan, meaning we start the reinforcement process. Let me show you. So I'm going to show my screen again. I'm going to see if that does that again. That was just really weird that it does that. So here we go. And so let me just take you through. Here we go. So this is our tool called Coaching Plan or CoachApplyBuilder.ai. So when we fill this out, I'm just going to fill it out with some gibberish, and let's just say we're at the YMCA. Now we're going to put our person's name in, and we're going to just put Susie Smith. Now what's happening is to become a leader. So let's say this is the person's motivator to become a first-time leader. And then what we're going to do is we're going to identify 4 areas where this employee needs to improve that will be in alignment with where she wants to go. Let's say time management. And again, we would give handling conflict. We would give more context. This is a little bit briefer demonstration purposes. Okay. What is the person's motivator? To become a manager. Now, here's something interesting. Let's just say great teammate and loves the company and knows the products. Now, what's happening is I'm building up, for lack of better description, a knowledge base. This is very brief. Hates feedback and is resistant to peer-based feedback. Now, again, more of our clients will actually fill this out with much more robust detail, okay? Now, here's something interesting. So what I can also do is I can upload, and let me just put in DISC, try to find someone's DISC profile here. And so what this is actually going to do is actually, and I think I've got one here. Here we go. So I'm going to upload someone's DISC profile, okay? I'm going to submit that. So essentially, and ignore that. I don't know why it's bringing up that score. We've got to change that programming. So essentially what's happening right now what's happening is that this is actually now building out a coaching plan. So what it's actually doing, and I'll actually show you the plan right here very quickly. And I think, oh, here it is. I've already got it up. So this is actually the coaching plan that is from that type of assessment process. And so let me show this to you quickly. And what this does, here we go. And so what you're looking at right here is a coaching plan. So this is for Maddie, and this is a message from the coach. So we personalize our coaching plans. We actually talk to the manager. So the manager filled this out. It took her DISC profile into account. Okay. We identified the 4 areas. These are different because I put in a bunch of gibberish. And then what we've done, if you look at this, weeks 1 through 12, we're going to focus on emotional regulation and self-awareness. Here are the exact questions. Here are the activities. Here are the learning projects. Here's the motivator. Here's the supplemental coaching. Notice the consistency. Now, you'll also notice the hyperlinks. Those are audio messages where we're actually talking directly to the manager. So essentially what we've done, and I'll just share this with you, is that what we've done is we'll take an outline. So there you saw a plan from a leader to an employee. We will actually take a plan, or we will take a course outline. We will put it through our tool, which is our language learning model, coachapplybuilder.ai, and we will actually craft a coaching plan that is 100% in alignment with the training or in the learning material. Here's why that's so important. If we don't do that, leaders will be out of alignment. I see it every single day. How often people will go to a class, a really well-run class, and really prepared, curriculum worked on, online materials designed really, really well, only to have a leader say, no, here's the way I would do it. Thinking in their mind they're helping, but they're out of alignment. So now the learner, the employee, is taking their training and saying, well, okay, what do I embrace? What do I not embrace? And I will share this with you. The number one reason leaders do not coach is they will tell you it's a lack of time. That is not the real reason. The real reason is they don't know what to do or say. So what we have discovered through AI is that we can quickly build coaching plans for clients. And what we can do, and you can do the same thing, you can do it with us. I'd love to have you do it with us. And what we do is we teach leaders how to coach with that framework I showed you. We teach them, we do cohorts. We also have a train the trainer. But then what we do is we position them. We literally say, here you go. Here's your plan. Your people just went through a negotiation skills course. Here's exactly how you need to reinforce it. Now, that's conversational framework. It isn't a script, but think about this for a second. A lot of times our people will go to, they'll go to acting school and then they'll get a play part. Would we really tell them not to practice or prepare? Or would we reinforce that acting school? It's like our kids in youth sports. Would we really go to the coach and say, he or she just shows up for games. We don't go to practice. Of course not. But the middle piece that's been missing, which has been missing forever, and a lot of people don't know this, the official name of our company is actually Training Reinforcement Partners. We do a DBA as Progress Coaching. But that middle part, if we can get people and we can hand them a plan that's in alignment with training and learning materials, and we make it easy for leaders to coach, they will become more adept at trying. And what's amazing to me is they will have aha moments by asking questions. So for us, it's the Q. The questions drive self-awareness. A, the activities drive change. The learning projects really bestow accountability and the ownership. And that is next week, Jack coming with 2 examples of where the negotiation skills really helped you interface with customers and how that might help you with your motivator, to become a first-time leader. The supplemental coaching might be, I'd love to have you spend some time with Lisa and practice those negotiation skills once a week for like 10 minutes. At the end of each session, tell me 2 things Lisa did well and 1 thing you did well. That's a supplemental coaching strategy. What I just depicted would take the leader maybe 16 to 20 minutes a month. But if they don't have the plan, they're shooting from the hip. And what they'll gravitate to is telling, command, demand. Let me show you what to do. That's not coaching. That's dictation. Sometimes we need to do that, but that does not cultivate, and it certainly is not in alignment with all of the training and learning programs that you're delivering. So this is our session today. I'm going to keep it at roughly about 15, 16 minutes. I go back to, if you want a tool, reach out to us, put into the comments, AI tool or something like that. I will get you some information. But what this allows us to do is quickly reinforce training. but it's in alignment with a coaching framework. Now, you could create your own framework, do the same thing. It's taken us roughly about 2 years to get our language learning model to read our knowledge, because I've been doing this about 32 years. And what it does is it reads it, it takes the disc, it takes the job description, it takes the course outline and says, what are you trying to achieve? So we've got all the prompts laid out. All of it's automated. We don't do it manually. So once people fill out that form, and we have it for job descriptions, we have it for customer service surveys, we have it for course outlines, what it does is it then uses the appropriate prompt with that form or that AI agent, and then it starts the building process for us. So what I just showed you that I filled out is already in development. I probably already have a Word file at my email inbox, and then it also gets sent to the client as a draft. So if you really want to make a difference, and while AI is all the rage, let me just share this with you. This is a prediction. I could be wrong. I think AI is going to prompt even more human-based coaching. It's going to prompt leaders to have even more interaction. And I'll give you an example as my closing comment. So I'm at about 16 minutes. I'll make it another minute. And I was at a CEO group, and somebody says, well, I think our people are pretty adept at change in terms of our leadership. And I said, can I challenge you? And he said, sure. I said, I'm going to role play. Are you cool with that? But you got to role play back. He said, oh, yeah, no problem. I said, okay. Is AI going to take my job? Is my job at risk? And this guy just looked flustered, and he looks at me and goes, boy, that's a great question. I said, oh, no. We're in role play. He goes, and he just starts hemming and hawing. He starts stalling. I said, oh, so you're not telling me something, right? My job? The audience starts laughing. He goes, wow. I said, what we say matters. How we say things matters. The language we use matters. Our physical appearance and the way we interact matters. That's just the coaching component. And if they're not in alignment with the training and learning, you're undermining what training and learning has been doing really well for 30 to 40 years. So that is it. So if you think about that 3-part process, training, learning, how can I build reinforcement that's in alignment with my training and learning that positions the leader to coach? It will change everything for you. Let me know your thoughts. Put some comments in. If this excites you, let me know. Talk to you soon, everybody.